morning, and welcome to Ark and Dove Presbyterian Church in Odenton, Maryland. I'm Brian Boudreau, the clerk of session here at Ark and Dove, and your host in the lobby, the weekly program of the life and ministry of the church. This Sunday is Generosity Dedication Sunday, so we will be making our pledges. I just want to remind everybody that we have in-person worship at 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. every Sunday now. We ask that you RSVP and wear a mask. And our live stream worship will continue at 10:30 every Sunday, and we will also have Sunday school. Virtual fellowship follows from 11:45 to 12:15. The children's Christmas pageant rehearsals continue every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. They are preparing music and drama parts for the Christmas pageant on December 19th at the 10:30 service, and it's for age 4 and up. So although the casting is complete, there are many non-speaking roles available, so you're welcome to join. You can just reach out to Abby Boudreau and Christina Nelson. This Tuesday, November 16th at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom will be a session on grief and the holidays. Whether you're new to grief or grieving anew this holiday year, this is an opportunity to process and prepare while being comforted by the church. Pastor Tim, the deacons Kathy Debus and Lenny Gerdner will be facilitating. If you have any questions, please reach out to Pastor Tim or Lenny Gerdner. Now, our children and youth activities will be moving indoors. They will try to have as many outdoor events as possible, but as the weather gets chillier and the announcement of vaccines for children ages 5 to 11, there's an opportunity to hold some of our events indoors. So that includes Sunday school, godly play, youth groups, and logos. So if it feels like the temperature is below 45 degrees or there's precipitation, classes may be held inside. So if we do that, masks will continue to be required, and there will be no eating inside. Starting December 1st, Pastor Tim will offer a Zoom course on the 6 marks of discipleship. This is a 75-minute course for those of you who have just recently joined in the last 4 years or need a refresher. You can reach out to admin@arkanddove.org to sign up. I know it's hard to believe, but Advent is right around the corner. And during the Advent season, there will be a book study on A Surprising God, Advent Devotions for an Uncertain Time, written by Thomas G. Long and Danielle C. McCrae. If you're interested, please reach out to Christian Ed Elder Sarah to receive the link to sign up for the forum. There's 3 groups that you can join, one led by Pastor John, one by Kim Champagne, and another by Axa Callahan, and at differing times to your taste. What is the land we live on? The land we live on has a complicated story. So to explore that, there is a 3-part drop-in friendly series about indigenous, enslaved, and environmental parts of the land that we live on and how faith ties into that. Each week, the group will discuss how and what we as Christians can do on this land to acknowledge these stories and what we can do with this awareness. The group is meeting on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. via Zoom, led by Katie Nielsen Johnson. So if you'd like the Zoom link for that, just reach out to Katie. If you need supplies for your Advent wreath, we have spare candles and a few wreaths here in the actual lobby at the church. So help yourself until supplies run out. So on Saturday, November 20th, the Gleam team will host an event for a Trans Day of Remembrance at 7 p.m. in the sanctuary. So please join the team for a screening and discussion of the film The Life and Death of Marsha P. Johnson, followed by a candlelight vigil for those transgender individuals who lost their lives for being themselves this year. So if you're watching from home, you are not able to participate in the pledging today in the church. So all you need to do is fill out the form that you received and mail it in the self-addressed stamped envelope back to the church. So we discussed over the last few weeks the 5 mission areas for stewardship. Those were Christian education, justice and inclusion, worship, pastoral care, and care and compassion. So how wonderful will it be to have a fully funded church budget this next year? So today on the lobby, I have a very special guest. I'm really excited to talk to her. If you've been at Ark and Dove for a while, you know this person, but if you're relatively new to Ark and Dove, this is a new face. So I would like to welcome our interim music director, Dr. Rebecca Bell Eccles. Rebecca, it's so wonderful to have you here in the lobby. Welcome.
Thank you. It's really great to be here. It's so nice to be back.
You were with Ark and Dove for a while, but I just want to give you a chance to reintroduce yourself to Ark and Dove. Tell us what you've been doing for the last couple of years and tell us a little bit about your background.
I was the director of music for 10 years, almost 10 years. And then 3 years ago, sort of retired. I have been at Morgan State University. I'm still there full time, and I am an assistant professor of music, specifically voice. And so I have been working with very talented young singers and continue to work with very talented young singers. Even still, I'm hoping to have some of them come to Ark and Dove pretty soon. I also have two young children. Some of you who were there years ago remember my son Anderson, who I cannot believe is almost 7 years old in the first grade. It just blows my mind because he was just 3 years old the last time I was here. And our daughter Arden, who is 3 years old. She was born just 2 months after I left Ark and Dove. And so, yeah, I've been really busy, but I'm so excited to be back. I think especially having come back after COVID, where everyone was just home and no one was able to create music in person. And so I think it's even more meaningful to be able to come out of this sort of hiatus and be back here where it's, yes, things are very different because of COVID, but everything is still very familiar as well.
Yeah, we certainly have been trying to reintroduce live music into the service, and we've had the band for a while, but now we have the choir who's coming in more regularly. It's certainly been a challenge to do that, and I know that's something that you think about, and I'll get to just in a minute sort of what our rehearsals look like, because they look a lot different than they used to before. But you were actually doing some music director work before you came to Ark and Dove. Is that right?
I was sort of the resident substitute. Everyone kind of in the surrounding churches knew that I had done it for a long time, and here I am. I don't have a Sunday church job, so I was called upon a lot to fill in as substitute, which I loved doing. But yes, so I was the interim director of music at Light Street Presbyterian Church for about 8 months while they were doing their search for their director of music. And that was all virtual. In fact, my piano is right here. I played the service from right here on Zoom. So that was a Zoom service. And the music, the offertories were all done virtually. And the choir would still rehearse. We rehearsed on Zoom. And I would put together the offertory. I mean, it was just such a huge learning curve for me to learn how to use programs like you use at Ark and Dove, like Logic Pro and Final Cut, that I had never even heard of. And I actually called Brian Stavely many times saying, please help me because your videos look so good and I don't know what I'm doing. So he was really key in helping me be able to get them through as well.
Yeah, that's a key thing with Ark and Dove. We were going through this, but every church was going through figuring out how to bring music into our homes and into the service, because it is such an important part of the experience.
It is. And I think everyone was longing for it. And it was so important to me to continue to make music. I needed it. And I think everyone needed it as well, to either to hear it or to be participating in making music in some way. And so I wanted to make that happen any way that I could. But there's nothing that compares to making music live and in person.
Now, how many weeks have you been back now? It's just been a couple.
I'm going into my 5th week, I think. So it's very recent.
So what are the plans for Advent?
So we have a piece that we are doing in combination with the children's choir, which I'm really excited about. It's called A Gospel Noel. So that will be done on December the 19th, which is going to be incorporated as part of the Christmas pageant. So it's kind of a Latin feel. It's really, really fun. You'll get to hear some of the children have solo parts. So while Abby and Christina are working with the children, I'm working with the adult choir to teach them their parts. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to put it together. So I'm so excited for that one. We have on Christmas Eve two pretty big anthem pieces. One is by Dan Forrest. It's called Sea Amid the Winter Snow. I did it about 5 or 7 years ago with Ark and Dove's choir. It was one of my favorite pieces then, and I was really excited to have the chance to do it again. It is with string quartet and percussion and piano as well. So working on getting that group together. I would love to be able to present it with the full chamber orchestra. And we have another piece called Murmurs in a Stable, which is just so beautiful. Pat and I are working on a piece to do on Christmas Eve. So we also have another piece that we're doing that features Laura Dowdy on flute, O Come Emmanuel. It's just a really beautiful arrangement, really simple, but the instrumentation makes it really special. So a lot of really fun and exciting things are coming up, and they're coming up really soon.
Well, that's wonderful. And if you are watching or if you're part of the service in the church, you'll see that the choir looks a little different, doesn't it? There's some protocols that we have in place. Can you describe what the choir is doing?
The choir is masked the whole time. In fact, there are singers' masks that they're wearing that have filters that are changeable, that they are using for rehearsals and for the Sunday services now. And yes, social distancing for sure on Sunday morning. And they are back on which we refer to as the choir side. When I was there was the choir side and the band side. So they're on the choir side now. So there's more space to spread out and really socially distance over there.
So maybe you can describe just a little bit what the rehearsals look like. They also look a little different than they used to.
They do. Everything is so familiar to me, but also so very different because of COVID. And the rehearsal is just one of them. But I think that it's different, but it's more accessible. So I think that's something that's really great about. We are actually offering both virtual and in-person rehearsing. So we are rehearsing very spread out in the sanctuary on Thursday evenings from 7 o'clock to 8:30. And we also have Zoom open, and we have been having people, 3 to 5 people an evening, show up on Zoom to rehearse for those people who feel more comfortable staying home or who have something that prevents them from getting to the church on a Thursday evening. So you can rehearse any way that you feel comfortable, whether you want to join us on Zoom or in person. We would love to have you, even if you just want to sing for Christmas Eve or just for a week or two in December. There are so many options for you to jump in. I also want to mention that you don't have to be a music reader to join the choir. There are a lot of really strong music readers in the choir, and then there are some people who don't read music at all. And I think that's the beauty of a group like this one. If you are not as strong of a reader, we'll put you in between people who are stronger. But also, I've been making rehearsal tracks. So I will record every piece that we're working on with the vocal line brought out really loudly so that you can be listening to that and learning it by rote that way.
Yeah, that's been one of the changes. And I'm going to admit here to everybody watching that I am part of the choir. And so I get to experience it. And the tracks make all the difference, right? If you're not a strong reader, you don't feel like you're the strongest singer, you have the tracks, you can work on them during the week. And that's something that we didn't do before COVID necessarily, is have all of that. We would occasionally, or you might find videos on YouTube, but we have the tracks for every voice to really help you. And that's been a godsend. Well, Rebecca, I am so excited about Advent. I am so excited that you are here with us at Ark and Dove and to see us through Advent and into the new year. So thank you. And thank you for accepting the call to come as our interim director.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be here. I can't wait to see and meet so many people who are new to me. And I'm really excited to be with all of you.
And thank you to everyone out there for joining me this week. It's a pleasure to be able to be with you every Sunday. Everything we talked about can be found in the archive or on the webpage, so please be sure to check that out. Don't forget to fill out your dedication card and send that in. I'd like to wish a special congratulations to Emily and Terrence Byrne on the birth of Luciana Olivia Byrne, who was born on October 15th. You can join us in fellowship after the service. You can email it at fellowship@arkandove.org to get a Zoom invitation. Stay safe, get vaccinated, and have a great week. Join us in the Zoom after service for fellowship. The live stream service will begin in a moment.